Wow, what a great, big, powerful entrance. Thank you, Carrie, so much for bringing us to this stage for Friday Focus. And I'm excited, super excited about this person we're bringing on. I would say that in all of the experiences that we've had, this is for me the most energized person I can bring to the screen. So Wendy Crane, welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're here. And
Thank
we're
you
so
so
glad you're
much.
sharing your morning with us.
Yeah, so
Very exciting.
for all of you that are on, good morning. I'm a little bit behind. I'm in Oregon, so I am in Pacific Central Time. So it is 8 a.m. for me, but I love the morning. So thank you for having me on today. And we
Oh,
have
thank you
Focus
for
Fridays here at the
being
corporate
here.
office too. So like it opened up my calendar for today.
Correct. Well, it's super, super glad to have you here. And I just want to kind of share with the group a little bit about your background and where you're from so they kind of know what's going on. Because for us, you and I, we get to connect in so many bigger ways and at conventions and things like that. And the agents just don't get that. So I just want to make sure they know. So Wendy is what we call the VP of Learning for Coldwell Banker Real Estate. As you can tell, we love to work virtually. We come from all over the country when we have these seminars, and I think that's the best part. She's responsible for ensuring that agents and owners and leaders have the tools and the knowledge they need to lead positively when it comes to their business and their communities. She works both inside and outside of the industry, which is fantastic for bringing her story. She's helped, one of her biggest attributes was bringing the learning experience to the virtual stage during COVID. And I will tell you, the impact was pretty darn positive because we had to react extremely quickly. She had to take everything that had been done one-on-one and in person into the virtual world. And in the end, she was able to connect a very large amount of people, as well as agents outside of the company, to the learning platform. In 21, she was awarded the Riz Media Trailblazer Award. Super excited about that because her heart and soul is truly in this business to help us be the best we can be, driving our businesses as well as leading our teams. And I think that's super fun. This morning, I asked her some fun facts, and I must say I just absolutely exploded with these ideas. So I think I'm just going to share them because it seems to be the agents love that. But she says she still has 4 baby teeth. They seem to be the same tooth on the top and the bottom. And she continues to mystify her dentist as to how in the world she still has those. So everybody's got some fun, crazy thing. And you know, I'm a big Hollywood kid. I grew up in Southern Cal, and for the fact that you almost got ran over by Rob Lowe riding his bicycle, I'm just going to take that in for a moment and tell you, I'm with you, girl. I'd like to see another star on the street just like that. So great story.
Thank
But
you.
I'm really just excited to bring you to our team. And I think, you know, our family of agents come from all over the Rocky Mountains and the state of Kansas. And I'm currently sitting outside of Telluride, Colorado, which is, again, how we get to live and how we get to be in this world. So just super, super excited to have you with us today and for you to share a little bit about the brand's power. And I think I know it's powerful and I know that it offers us a lot, but telling our agents and our staff what that is and how they can use that more and more to leverage their business and leverage their consistency, especially now in this changing environment where we really need to be focused, right? Like highly focused on the tools. I think it's a time to go back to the basics and a time to stimulate, you know, am I in my business? How am I using those tools and how are the tools supporting me to drive what I want to be doing? So I'm really going to set you up for, we talked a little bit about, you know, 5 things that are key in your world. And I think I just want you to walk through with us on those. Most of these things are all available on CD Desk. So for those of you that haven't wandered into that world, I would say a weekly trip there is important because it's ever changing. Like you are bringing us so much content that I feel like I have to constantly look and be involved. So take it away, Wendy, with the first of 5 tips.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. So let me know if and when you can see it.
We are in business.
Okay, perfect. and I shared it with some sound because I have some for later, and I shared the screen. So I'm usually using Teams because that's what we use at the corporate office. So I'm hoping that I can switch screens and kind of go, because I have an actual little bit of a PowerPoint presentation, but then I also want to go live into CBU to show you some things as well. So this might be a little bit of a exercise today to make sure we can do it right. But thank you, Suzanne. And for those of you that are on, I did sell real estate for 10 years. So I was an agent from 2004 until 2014. So I sold through the market crash. And when I teach and when I talk to agents, I talk to them from the experience that I had. So when I was asked to talk about the CB tools and growth, I just kind of went back again, like Suzanne said, to the basics. But I just want to say, before we even start for our 5 things, thank you for being here and investing in yourselves. I'm the VP of learning. I'm a learner. I'm a lifetime learner. It helped me immensely when I was in the business. And I think this is a business where you have to continually be investing in yourself. So making sure that you've got time to read articles and go to trainings and do those things to stay on the top of your business. You've all done that today because you're here with us. So I just wanted to say thank you for being here and investing in yourself. I'm going to dive right into the beginning to where it all starts, because you have to set a goal. This is one of those things that we hear over and over and over again, but it is so true. And there's a second half of this. If you can see, my presentation says set a goal, but it also says and find an accountability partner. Ryan Gorman, who is our CEO and president, I love to hear him say, when you have a goal, you should tell the entire world, right? Your goal everyone should know, and everyone can help hold you accountable. My goal right now is to get back to Florida by next winter. So I need to save money for a down payment because this winter in Oregon is terrible. And I'm telling literally every person that I get on the phone with, by next winter, I will have a winter home in Florida. So that's my goal. For you all, you need to get goals for your business. And so we have a tool for that for you. So this is where it's going to get fun. I'm going to try to see if I can go in and actually show you my CBU account. It's right here. Can you see did it switch or is it still on my PowerPoint?
Looks great.
Perfect. Okay. So for those of you, this is the CBU Learning Center. There's RE Scoreboard on the left-hand margin. And if you click on RE Scoreboard, it will take you to a place in the Learning Center where you can calculate your goals. Now, if you've taken any of our accountability courses, you've been in here, but you can click right on calculate your goals. I'm not listed as an agent, so I'm just going to go to my dashboard, which you can do all the time. And this is where you can track, but you're going to see right here in the middle, it says calculate goals. And if you click on calculate goals, and you'll just only get agent because you're not a leadership team, but this is your agent goal projector. This thing will do a variety for you. You can make it complex or you can make it simple. So if you want to have financial goals, like for example, you want to buy a car, save money to buy a car. Maybe you want to save money for a down payment on a house. If you have financial goals, you can fill those in at the top. Then you go back in and it will tell you, what are your bills for a month? So basically this is saying how much money do you need or want to make? And you just plug those in and you move down. It's going to ask you for the average sales price in your market. So make sure you know some of that information. And you're going to see average number of appointments. See the little I? We understand that you might not know this. So we click on the little I and it says, if you don't know, 3 is a good starting point. So what we do is we take the NAR average and we give it to you because we know some of you may not know what your how many contacts you need to make before you get an appointment, or how many appointments you have to go on before you get a listing. So all of that information is in there. You just hit calculate activity goals and it will tell you how many contacts and how many appointments you need to make each day to hit your financial goals. All right, so I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint for a minute here because there's a subset to this, which is know your numbers. And that just ties right into what I just did. So if you're back here and you've done this and you don't know these numbers, how many contacts do you need to make to get an appointment? How many appointments are you on before you get a listing signed? This thing will do it for you because right here are conversion rates at the bottom. So this is also a really amazing tool. It will help you better predict what you can do. And it will help you be coached when you do have that accountability partner. Because if you're going on 20 appointments, but you're not getting a listing, then we probably need to work on your scripting, or we need to work on your listing presentation, or we need to work on handling objections, whatever that might be. So this is all available to you inside of RE Scoreboard, the goal calculator and the tracking component, and your ability to get your conversion rates. So those were two really quick. I'm going to take a second to ask for any questions before I go off of this. If you want to see anything else here, you can also see, let me just point this out. This is an awesome upgrade as well. This will let you see, it ties to Dash. So you can see where you're at. It will tell you what your gross commission and your volumes and your list right here, all on this page. So you don't have to go anywhere else.
Hey, Wendy, I think it's awesome. So for the agents, it's in CB Desk under RE Scoreboard. It's a super fast way for you to look at your numbers and build your base for what you're trying to achieve. And it's interactive, which is what makes it such a great tool. So thank you for that. That's awesome information.
You are welcome. And if you get to Desk, you'll need to click on the CBU Learning Center. It is in Desk, but you'll have to go into the Learning Center to get there. It's a single sign-on. You don't need a login and password, or you shouldn't if you're using Desk to get into it, because it's through Okta.
Perfect.
Okay. Blocking your calendars. I will tell you, this was probably one of the most important or effective methods. I was prospecting, but I wasn't blocking my calendar. So I was making a decent amount of money when I first started. I came from a sales background, which was very helpful. So when I came into real estate, I actually came from telecommunications. So I was used to cold calling strangers for $8 an hour. But so I was okay making calls, but I didn't have it blocked in my calendar. And as you all know, because you're in this business, this is a crazy business, and you will get pulled into the whirlwind all day long. This was probably about halfway through my career when I sat through, and because I am a lifelong learner, I always went back to learning. So I always went back to these types of, I paid for a coach or something came into the region. It was $21. It was something crazy. So I sat in for the day, and I remember him showing the calendar, and I remember him talking about being pulled in a million directions. And I thought, I'm going to do this. It was called the 21-day challenge, as a matter of fact. And for 21 days, we were held accountable, and I did it for the first time ever. I blocked 2 hours from 8 to 10 in my calendar, and every day, no matter what, I went into my office and I was either calling past clients or I was calling for sale by owners. It was incredible what happened to my sales that year. And so I continued to do it. So, and I would say, don't just block your calendars for your prospecting time. What I learned was you block your calendar for your prospecting time. You block your calendar for when you're going on your listing appointments. It just makes you're that much more professional. You're talking to someone and you say, I go on listing appointments between 4 and 6 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They then see you are busy. You are one of those people that you're at the top of your game, and you're going to be different than the other realtors that they have met. And I will say, that was another training session that I went to where I heard the trainer say, you have to be different. You have to act different. You have to speak differently. That is different. To this day, everything that I do is blocked in my calendar. And I mean, when I go to the gym is blocked in my calendar, because if it's not, I won't go. And I stick to it. And it has been life changing. So please, 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 I don't care what calendar you use. I don't care if it's Google, if it's Outlook, block your calendar and stick to it. And by the way, if you have a bad day and you fall off the horse, it's okay. Just please make sure you get back up on it the next day. We can't always be consistent 100% of the time, but the most important thing is, if you miss a day, if you miss 2, get back up on the horse.
Hey, Wendy.
Yes.
For just a quick moment, can we insert AMP right here and talk a little bit about the power of AMP? Because it's so much about your calendar. And, we talk to people about it as new agents, and we say, go to AMP, and we put them in the course when they first start, and we help them understand the basics. But I would say that AMP is also for people who've been in the business for a while, who find they need to go back to basics. And the course is over a month that allows you 3 days a week to join in and hold yourself accountable on a calendar with some additional tools where you just kind of remember what needs to go into my funnel. So talk to us a little bit about AMP, because you've been very powerful in creating that for us.
Thank you for reminding me that. Y'all, AMP is, and so as I said, I went back to the basics. It's the solution for this. Yes. I went back to the basics every year because I knew that I was getting off course. And I will tell you, we have agents who have been in the business 15, 20 years. I just got an email from a manager a couple of weeks ago about an agent that they recruited who had been in the business for 15 years. And she went to AMP and he forwarded me the email and she said, I can't believe what happened to me during AMP. She had 4 new listings during the course of the 4 weeks. So she said, I knew all of those things. It was nothing new. It was stuff that I just wasn't doing. And it forced me to do it again. She said, I got 4 new listings. I'm going on a 5th. And she said, and I'm telling all the agents at my brokerage that they need to come over here and take this training. So we have the numbers, we have the statistics from a high level of the company that agents get, 33% higher closed volume 12 months after they take AMP. So again, we need that accountability. So I said earlier, set a goal and be accountable. That accountability partner can be that person in AMP. And I highly suggest, I don't care if you're brand new, you should go to boot camp. So I just want to say that if you're less than 6 months in the business, boot camp is going to be for you because you need some of those fundamentals. But if you're 6 months or on and you've closed a couple of transactions, if you've been in the business for 30 years, please take AMP. Take it every year. I had another agent who called me recently. As a matter of fact, she was the rookie of the year. I had her on my EdExpo and I said, and I didn't, this was not planned. I said, so you were the rookie of the year. Like, tell me what it was that she's like, I took all of your classes and I did everything that you said that I should do. And it's a 1.5 years last and I'm taking AMP again now. And she said, and it's continuing to increase so it doesn't matter where you are in your process. AMP will get you to do the hard work.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That's so great. I love your energy on it because I really believe in it. It's a great course. And I think sometimes we forget that learning is important, especially when we kind of go into the changing markets, right? Focus.
Yes,
really focus on your business. Go back to basics, right? Don't find yourself floundering out there in the big bad world. Look for tools to help you stay straight the course. So super great program. And like Wendy said, it's available. It's in CB Desk. There are many, many sessions. You can take one this month and next month and the month after that. It's meant to be a tool for you to stay focused.
Okay, so I jumped a little bit ahead to because this is my favorite. My favorite thing to do when I was an agent was my listing presentation. Probably because I came from a small brokerage firm. I did not start with Coldwell Banker. I made all of the wrong decisions when I first got my license. I started with a small brokerage firm. There was no listing presentation. There was no training. I was paying a high split. I got nothing. My company got acquired by Coldwell Banker in 2007, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And of course, immediately I started going to the training, and I took their listing presentation class. I used the company's listing presentation. I made the scripts my own. But I loved going on listings because I was good at it, and I was good at it because I practiced that thing until it was written in my brain. So I would say to everybody on this call right now, with the exception of the pricing portion of your listing presentation, if you can't give it to me, I mean like right now, on demand, you can start and you're going to knock out your listing presentation. You need to work on it because it's got to be second nature. It will vary a little bit if you're doing your job correctly and you're asking the seller the right questions to determine their needs, because we don't need to say everything every time, but we need to know what to say in the circumstances. Obviously, the more times you do it, the better you will get, but you have to practice. People say to me all the time, how do you do that so well when you're on these? If people knew the amount of hours for a 5-minute town hall presentation, and I will get it. I am the exception to the rule because I am a perfectionist. I will sit in this office for hours and hours on end, 10 hours, record myself, do it again, do it over, because I want it to be right. Now, I also happen to come from a theater background, so it was brought up in me as a child to memorize scripts and all of those types of things, and it's helped me in this role. But it works for everyone. Know your listing presentation, know your value proposition, be confident in it, and you will win. I mean, the NAR statistic is 75% take the very first on your listing, take the first agent that they speak to. So, but you want those other 25%. To me, when I could beat out another agent, and by the way, this is just my advice, I don't know if it's right, wrong, or indifferent, I liked to go first. And I know some people say they like to go last. I went first, and then I would tell the seller, I'll call the other agents and let them know that you've already selected an agent, because didn't even want anyone to go after me. And
That's
sometimes
great.
it worked and sometimes it didn't.
That's awesome, Wendy. What great advice. I love it. One extra little snug thing to put into your presentation. That's great.
So
Super,
any
super good.
questions here? I mean,
No
I don't
questions so
care.
far, but I think again, I think we tend to decide that the listing presentation is just a side thing. You know, we pick it up, we look at it, we make it work. And I think again, it's an important part or component, and there are different ways to present it and different ways to put it together. And I think to your point, when it becomes organically natural to your presentation, you win, because it is a piece of paper that has a lot of stuff in it. So get comfortable with being you and being all that you are and making that presentation. You are what I would say on your slide, Superwoman or Superman. That's how it works.
I actually wish I had the amp power pose. Like my little box back there has the power pose on it. That's my own boss. And then my next one is the market. I mean, this is one of those, we are in a shifting market. We are coming into the shifting market. So whatever it is that you need to do to become the expert, and this is one of those things that Jay Schweppe said to me, and I told you he was the one who said you need to be different than the other agents. And that means understanding what's happening with your inventory. And inventory doesn't necessarily look the same in every single price point. Are you sitting with the agents in your office that are already the experts and listening to their conversations? Are you listening? Are you going to your office meetings? Are you going to your MLS board and listening to what they have to say? Are you listening to the NAR experts? But know your local market. You need to know the macro and the micro. For me in my market, when the market started to crash, just to give you like a little bit of an idea of this was being different, overall in Sarasota County, we had 2 months of inventory, and everybody probably knows 6 months is that meet in the middle happy point. Anything that's less than 6 months of inventory is a seller's market, and anything that's over 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market. In Sarasota County, which is where I was, there was 2 months of inventory, and the news and everything was saying how it was such an amazing market. And we'll talk about the news in a second, because this is a leverage point too. The agent that the seller that I went to was in a subdivision where the price point was $850. And of course, she'd been listening to everything that the market was saying and thinking that it was a seller's market for her. She wanted to price it at $1 million. I was able to show her that in her price point, inventory had been increasing for 6 consecutive months, and it was going to continue to go up because we were starting to shift. She didn't see it and she didn't know it. Thankfully, she listened to me and she priced it just below where the market was, and she sold quickly. Everybody else in her subdivision priced high, and they ended up getting caught and having to drop and drop and drop. Now, I don't think that's going to happen to the extent that it did when the market crashed the last time. However, no one was showing her that data. No one really understood. And as I would talk to people about our local market in differential to the other markets, they started to say things to me like, wow, you are different than the other realtors that I have spoken to before. And I tied that into my listing presentation, because Schweppe said you have to be different. I would say one of my favorite questions to ask during the listing presentation was, have you worked with a realtor before? I mean, it's just one of those, like, some people haven't. And so even just that one question, and I loved when they said yes or no, because if they said yes, I would say, you're probably going to find that I'm not like most realtors that you've worked with in the past. And then they would repeat it back to me. I believed it. I said it. They said it back to me. And for the people that hadn't, I was like, that's wonderful, because not all realtors are created the same. And I'm going to make sure that you're going to have an experience that's going to want you to be represented by a realtor for the rest of your natural life, because I want to be that person for you, just like your doctor. So ask that question, but know your market.
Well, that's fantastic. I think that's such an important piece. And I really think the things that you brought to the table, how well versed are you using your MLS? What is it pulling for you? What data is it pulling for you? What conversations are you having with other realtors? I think, are you socially involved in the community of the realtors, even if it's not in your own office? Are you going to the meetings? We're now back in meeting sessions, and I think that makes a huge difference. How you communicate, what you share, and what you learn. Go to open houses, talk to other realtors about what they're experiencing, right? So I think, again, you've got every day you have an opportunity to see something different, and you'll see the market change as the MLS speaks to you. So be engaged, find that spot, and learn to love it. It's really, in my mind, the coolest tool in the world when it comes to figuring out what you're doing locally. And
then my last piece of advice for all of you, and this one is so very important, leverage the systems so that you can be getting the highest use of your time, which is investing in yourself and making sure that you're understanding, you're knowing your market, practicing your listing presentation, and prospecting. Those things like transaction management, you have something right within your company that can help you with this. If you are not taking advantage of this, you have lost your mind. You make a high dollar amount per hour and you should not be doing things like that. You should really be focusing on your time on money. Anywhere that you have a system, whether it's a CRM, which I hope you're all using a CRM, those are the things that are going to make you more successful and give you the time that you need to be able to maximize your work and to have some balance in your life, because you don't want to be doing all of those things. You will end up, and I am guilty of this because it took me a while. I think I was telling Suzanne when we were talking, maybe it was someone else. I had 19 days in a row in my calendar that I had worked 16-hour days. That's not good. You can't do those things. You can't sustain that kind of business. Finally, I got the systems in place to give me some breathing room, and it was life-changing. So again, whatever it is that you can systemize, do it and take advantage of what's being offered at your office level.
Well, Wendy, I think when you and I talked the other day about it, I think what Todd has always wanted us to have is systems to support so that an agent can build relationships. And I think that's really what it is. If you apply and leverage, to your point, the systems from the CRM, right, that we offer you to be able to connect automatically with your clients, learning how to use it, learning to get connected, finding out how to do that, to understanding that we do marketing packages so that you don't have to do it, right? So that it's easy to be executed for you. You get the listing, you put it into the MLS, you can go on to another client and you can build another relationship to build your business. And if you absolutely hate the paperwork, the TC coordination group in our company is there to support you. For what you pay for it, it is minimal when you think about the balance of building relationships. And relationships is what this business is about. So I would fully agree with you that leveraging tools, and that is what Coldwell Banker and CB and Distinctive really stand for, will allow you that space to also grow your business, which is really what this is all about too. So I really appreciate your strength on this fifth, kind of thing that's out there. It's awesome.
Speaking of tools, I know we're getting ready to run out of time, but I wanted to save this fun fact for last, because we've been working on the CBU Learning Center in the background for the last 2 years now, really trying to update it and get it, the scoreboard has been redone, the calendar has been redone, and I'm so excited because we're doing a relaunch in October, and there's a tool that we've needed. We're about 15 years late on this one. That's what I told the development team, but better late than never. And that is a mobile app, and I have, and this is not published, so you cannot see it anywhere except for here today. You are getting a sneak peek. Don't ask me for this video because you can't have it. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you today.
Great.
This is a preview of what you can expect. We know we want you to track your contacts and appointments. We want you to set your goals, but we know it needs to be easy for you. So this is what we've got coming this year in October, and hopefully you can hear.
Hey, do full screen while you're at it. Oops. Thank you.
The newly redesigned RE Scoreboard works just like a fitness tracker for your business. Use it to set goals, stay focused on the activities that will lead to results, and always keep your progress top of mind. Use the goal projector to determine your goals and quantify the activities that will help you achieve them. The activity tracker will tell you where you are in relation to your goal, allowing you to take targeted action every day in real time, and now from anywhere, using the all-new CBU Learning Center mobile app. Move seamlessly between app and desktop with access to all the same learning content and tools to keep your business growing from anywhere. Coldwell Banker has it all here for you.
Yay!
Awesome. So special. Hey, you told us that it would pop out sometime with Gen Blue, and I think I just wanted you to plug one thing that we didn't talk about was the impact of connection and networking. And I feel so strongly that this is a time of rejuvenation to come back together after we've been so virtual. That Gen Blue, just tell me, in 3 words, why I as an agent or a leader should attend Gen Blue. What is your feedback there for the team?
Learning, networking, and fun.
Awesome. That sounds great. So anybody that doesn't already know, it's the end of October. We have our team that's gotten a lot of good information together. It's in the week at Distinctive that you receive on Sundays. And we just hope that you get yourself registered. We are super excited to be leading this effort specifically for our company where our leader actually lives in Arizona and where the team is big. So know that our leadership team is joining you for that event, and we want to be there to make it great for you as an agent. And we want to make sure that you connect with agents and other people from the entire Coldwell Banker family. That is 100,000 agents. You know, we're looking at
100,000, and we're going to have a lot from overseas too. If you're there,
it's
please
great.
come up and say hello to me. There is nothing
Awesome.
I love more than meeting our agents and getting a photo. And like, that's the networking piece for me. I'm stuck in this office all the time. So getting out and being able to see people is my thrill these days.
Wendy, we really, really appreciate your coming. We've had some great feedback. Super, super excited to kind of be here and have you just share quickly what it really means and how easy it is to use it. So thank you for your time.
Welcome. It's been my pleasure, and you are welcome, Todd. Thank you so much. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, everyone. Good luck, and hopefully I'll see you in October.